Okay, welcome. This is All the Good Names Are in Use. Some of you may remember me from Twitch. I used to stream a lot of Diablo 2. These days I've been playing a lot of ARK, and I figured since I've got subscribers now, I might as well post some videos on my channel. Today I'm really just going to be recording some casual gameplay. I'm already in, as you can see, an established base, and I'm going to get myself set up with my normal day-to-day equipment, which usually involves a couple of tames that I like to keep on me for safety's sake, and I'm going to go down and grab some food. I'm going to need my enforcer because I plan on working on some base building activities. Enforcers are great because you can climb walls with them. That makes base building a lot easier, less frustrating. And let's see, what else do I need in here? I'm going to grab my couple of wyverns that I've been keeping on me lately since I'm going to Crystal Isles. And this is my Rex grenade. I just keep in a hotkey slot in case I get myself into a lot of trouble. This is PvE, so if I'm going to get into trouble, it's really only going to be, because I fall off my mount or find myself in a situation where I'm getting overwhelmed by some sort of animals, dinosaurs, whatever. But it's really nice because I can just, hotkey that, pull that up in a second and throw it like a grenade, and out comes a Rex. So, works out really well. So anyway, this is my primary base. It's on Valguero. Actually built in the Aberration Cave in Valguero. So this is big, it's elaborate. There's an awful lot of construction that went into this. And some of this is just for fun. I mean, it's PvE, so after playing PvP for a while, it's kind of nice to sit down and just be able to build whatever you want to build. Make something that looks cool, and in addition to just being functional. PvP leads to a lot of things being really utilitarian, and of course concealment is really important, especially early on. So, this is sort of a way to be able to kind of build more decadently. I do have an elevator, so I'm going to use that to get down to the first floor. I have a sheep here that I've been keeping around for wool. This is my raptor. So when you have a base that's this large and it's pretty much just yourself, one of the things that you notice right away is that running around is kind of a pain. So I keep at least one base quote-unquote scooter handy. In this particular case, I named this raptor Segway. He's a Segway scooter. So I just have him to run around the base. So if I need to run back here for something, get water, whatever, I've got an easy way of being able to do that. Let's get myself some eggs here. I have a fridge just for jerky. I'll just grab a stack out of there. I always keep, by the way, I always keep a number of empty cryopods on me because you just never know if you end up taming something. You might want an easy way to bring it back. Oh yeah, so I'm wearing a clown mask. That's why my hair looks funny. And anyway, so I've put a lot of speed into this raptor. My main thing for raptors that I'm going to use, or really any base scooters, is it's got to be something that's relatively small so it can get around easy. Sometimes I have wyverns out and parked in the garage, so I want to be able to get around to them. So I level up weight until I'm at least at about 1500, because a lot of times I'm carrying stuff. And then after that, I just throw everything into movement speed, so that when I'm running around, as you can see, this guy goes really fast. So it's really handy when you've got a base scooter like this. I can just quickly get to where I need to be in my fort and not have to worry about it. Okay, so I got myself some food, picked up an egg. I always like to keep an egg or two on me. I'm going to go down here and check on my trough. That's always one of the first things I do in the game. If you've got a well-established base, it's always a good idea to, just get in the habit of checking what you've got in the trough so that if you are empty, you at least are aware of it. in this particular trough, because I have occasional feather lights out, they like to eat seeds, so I keep seeds in there. I keep berries, of course, for the Listosauruses and my dodo that I have up there for eggs. The rest of this is just meat, because the rest of the time I've mostly got carnivores out, like my raptor scooter, wyverns. If I have them parked up there, they'll eat freely of the trough whenever they can. I like to consolidate stacks because I get a little bit less spoilage that way, but really I've got so much meat in here, it doesn't really matter much. This is a tech trough, so it preserves like a fridge, which is why I can have Prime in here and just walk away from it, and it's good. The dinos like Prime, obviously, a lot, and that's particularly useful too if you are, out in a combat situation and you find yourself with an injured carnivore. They'll eat Prime and it'll actually promote healing. So my trough looks good. I got a ton of spoiled meat in there. I just leave it there. That way if I need to make narcotics or something, I can do so just by grabbing a couple stacks. The reason why my trough is down here is because it's out of the way, and because it's almost directly below my tech generator, which I have set on the lowest range. I don't really need the tech generator on anything higher than that. It burns more element. And I've got 2 standard generators that are actually set in failover mode. So those are what's powering my power grid. The tech generator is really just there to power the teleport pad and to power my tech trough. There's really no other purpose for it. So, alright, so I checked my trough. Everything looks good there. The next thing I'm going to do is I need to build a bunch more greenhouse walls for the fort that I'm working on. So I think I'm going to need... it looks like I got plenty of crystal in here and ingots, so I just need to put some cementing paste in there. I'm not really sure how many greenhouse walls I'm going to need, so I'm just going to start out with 100. Actually, I know I'm going to need more than 100, so I think all I might do is get both of these smithies going. If I have extras, it's okay, because people will always trade for them. The group that I play with, they actually have quite a lot of crazy structures themselves, and I'm kind of in the business of helping supply them with their building materials. As you can see, I've got quite a crafting setup here. I've got 3 industrial forges, 2 chem benches, 2 smithies, 2 fabricators, and really the redundancies are so that I can do like what I just did, where I can queue up 100 of something in each one of these and basically get 200 things done in twice the speed it would normally take if I just queued them up in one. I don't remember what I had in here. Oh, I got quite a few ingots in here, so that's good. I think I'm probably going to take all those ingots with me to Crystal Isles, though, so I'm going to get my transmitter out, load that thing up with ingots. If you've never used tech before, one of the best things is a transmitter. Total game changer, because I can upload heavy materials into it, and they'll stay there, and we've got our server set for 36 hours before anything you uploaded will expire, so that gives me plenty of time to move things to where I want them, and it basically just sits in my pocket otherwise. In my new fort on Crystal Isles, I still need a lot of tech stuff, building components constructed. That takes a lot of ingots, twice as many as normal like metal ceilings and foundations and stuff, so... This part's kind of tedious, but, you know, ingots are heavy. I mean, you can only carry so many of them. But one of the things that I like to do before I exit the game a lot of times is go in and load up my forges with metal ore and just start it cooking so that the next time I'm on I have ingots ready. As you can see, I put a lot of metal in this particular forge. One thing I don't like about transmitters is they keep the stack sizes whatever you happen to transfer in there, they don't combine. So I try to max them out. I'm not going to use all the slots in here, but I do like to max out the stacks. Just a little picky that way. Okay, that should probably do pretty well for what I'm going to do. And if I'm not mistaken, I probably have a similar situation in the other forges as well. Yep. So, what the heck, I think I'll bring it with. Getting started out on a new base means that I'm importing a lot of stuff for a while until I get everything situated. But the end goal is ultimately to, get that base self-sufficient so that I'm not doing this every time I go over there. I'm just going to transfer 1,000 at a time. But right now, since I'm still constructing it, I'm still kind of having to bring a lot of stuff. I'm not really, I have an industrial forge built for that base. I don't have it deployed yet, so I'm still working on the structure. I like to get things mostly laid out footprint-wise before I start laying out my crafting area. And once I get that going, then that base will be a lot more self-sufficient as far as metal goes. In the meantime, I'm transmitting a lot of metal. And just the same reason why I have redundant smithies and fabricators, having multiple industrial forges means I'm smelting metal faster than if I just had one. It's not as big a deal if I'm just loading them up before I leave the game. This is a persistent, server, so it's gonna burn without me here. But a lot of times I'm loading these up while I'm doing stuff, and I like to be able to get access to ingots quicker than if I were just using one forge. As you can see, I'm going through a lot of metal. We have our server settings pretty loose. The idea is we're all pretty experienced players. We're kind of letting us skip the grindy parts of it. So we harvest pretty high amounts. We've got stack sizes adjusted so that we can carry more things, and so it's not quite as grindy. So we make that part of it a little bit easier. Nobody wants to spend hours and hours just watching a forge. So see how my dung beetles are doing. We sort of treat dung beetles like, no base is complete unless you got a couple of them wandering around. They're sort of pets. They don't pick up dino poop anymore, but they only process stuff that you put in their inventory if they are on wander. So they just kind of wander around. They're like pets. It is probably one of the most efficient ways of making fertilizer. I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to want to grow some crops soon here too, so I've been stockpiling fertilizer as I've been going. I have a folder in that vault straight ahead of me there that actually has fertilizer in it. So when I get ready to roll, you want to stay ahead of the fertilizer because your crops will burn lots of it. As you can see, I got a lot of greenhouse glass in this place, so if I really wanted to, I could probably just put crop plots on the floor somewhere, and I think the greenhouse factor would be high enough. Alright, there's my 100 greenhouse walls there, and they're probably done here too. It's an easy way to go. These are kind of heavy, so I'm going to be uploading them. So I've got a lot of greenhouse walls built. I'm going to be building some more tech stuff when I get there, but I think the other thing that I'm going to need a lot of is polymer. And while I do have a stockpile of crafted polymer that's actually pretty legit, it's in the 24,000 range, I don't like to use that. I sort of keep that as a reserve. Instead, I like to use organic polymer, which is smaller stack sizes, so it's kind of harder to carry, but it's free if you take it from a Carcanos or something. So that's what I'm going to do now. So before I head over to Crystal Isles, I'm going to get on my Fire Wyvern. Yeah, and as you can see, my base is kind of high up in the air. Flying is the only way to get in and out of it. So I'm going to fly down here where there's always a few of these Carcanos. And I'm going to kill a couple of them and load up on organic polymer. It's kind of a spicy area. It's not too bad with a Wyvern, but if you're down here on foot, I don't recommend this. So you can see there's lots of nasty things down here. Nothing a Wyvern can't handle, but so since I don't really need the meat, I'm going to drop the meat because that's just unnecessary weight. I think I see another one here. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Got an aggro range. That was a good haul. Oh, that's just a Dimetrodon. Alright, looking for another one. I think a third one will probably be good. Still have some weight capacity left. Doesn't look like there's any over here. You do gotta watch out for Spinos. They're fast and they like to get behind you. So even a fairly powerful Wyvern can get overwhelmed quickly if you're not careful. Let's drop that meat. Hopefully I can take off. Yeah, I'm not too encumbered. Okay. I've been working on the weight on this Wyvern because, of course, if you harvest a bunch of organic polymer and stuff, it's super heavy, and if you can't take off, other things can attack you. Yeah, I was going to point out, as you can see, we do have cave flying turned on all the maps except for Aberration. Flyers aren't allowed on Aberration, but kind of defeats the purpose if you do that there. But, you know, this is Valguero, and this cave is a lot more fun if you can actually fly through it. My fort's huge, so it takes a little bit of time to render. Alright, well, I use lots of chitin, so I'm actually going to keep all of that so I didn't drop any of it. I have a dedicated storage box here for it. Useful for cementing paste. And otherwise, I'm going to take all of this organic polymer out of Abaddon's inventory here and put it in my transmitter. And of course, that's the other thing that's with the transmitter. You have to transfer everything one item at a time, one stack at a time. You can't just highlight everything and transfer all. It won't do it. When you're uploading, it's one at a time. So it's a lot of clicking. I think I'll have enough space. There is a maximum number of slots. Oops, shit. That's not what I meant to do. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I got my transmitter loaded up with a bunch of ingots, a bunch of greenhouse walls, and a bunch of organic polymer. Probably going to end up using like all of that polymer. I should probably bring some cementing paste with. Again, I do have like, you know, tons of... I have a chem bench built over there, in fact, I believe. I have not deployed it yet, so... Maybe with a couple thousand of those. Alright, do I have everything I need? Oh, I should probably re-cryo my wyvern. So I do like to take this one with me, rather than just leave him here. And the other nice thing about a transmitter is I keep one at each base, because then I can just use it just like an obelisk and transfer myself to a different map. So I scouted around quite a bit to find a good base location on Crystal Isles. The spot that I found, I really wanted it close to ample metal, and obsidian's nice, and I also wanted it at least elevated. I like building up out of reach of things, and the spot that I found fit that criteria pretty well. It's also fairly close to a friend's base, so you know, when I was getting things set up before I set a base transmitter up, I was actually just spawning at his base and then decryo one of my wyverns and then fly to my site. But now I've got a transmitter set up there and a bed, and so that's where we're at. I haven't done much exploration of Crystal Isles at all, as you could tell by the map. So I'm pretty new to this map. There's my base. I just spawned in at my staging area. There's my tech replicator. So there's not much going on here. I've mostly just been working on placing walls, which is super exciting, I'm sure. So you can see I'm doing a mixed construction of tech and greenhouse glass. Let's see if I can zoom out here. Let's see more of it. We've kind of been building bases that look sort of like office buildings lately. But they're cool. I mean, it's kind of fun. I've got a base scooter here, and a dodo, and not really anything else. It's just an empty shell at this point. So, I'm going to get my trusty enforcer out. Actually, I think what I might do instead here, I'm going to go back and offload a lot of stuff out of my transmitter and my inventory. And yeah, something we discovered recently: if you double stack tech double doors, you can get a raptor through them, which is pretty useful. Alright, so the other nice thing is it doesn't matter what transmitter you're accessing. It all works about the same way. So even though I used my handheld transmitter to upload a bunch of stuff, I can use my base transmitter that I have here. Looks like I already had a bunch of cementing paste here. That's alright. It accesses the same space regardless of what transmitter you're using, so... I'm just going to take everything out of this. And the other neat thing about transmitters is they ignore your weight capacity. So as long as you have slots open, and you're not slot capped, you can pull everything out of a transmitter like this, and it'll just completely overload your weight. I mean, you're immediately encumbered when you do this, but it's convenient for being able to transfer large amounts of stuff. This would otherwise take, I mean, I don't know how many trips to haul this much stuff from map to map. And then I can just pretty much put everything I just grabbed into here. With all those ingots in there. polymer. Move the greenhouse walls in there too. You know, I actually have a staging folder where I put stuff in this vault, but I was too encumbered to get into it, so take those greenhouse walls and cut them in half. So I have 4 large tech walls left. I might have to have my tribe mate make me some more of them. So I'm not completely sure if I want to stay at the height that I'm at, but we'll see. I want to get the greenhouse walls in place first. Oh, I should run around a little bit, show you what the rest of this looks like. Try to zoom out again. The reason I built so big, both here and at my base in Valguero, is, you know, it's kind of nice to just have space. This is sort of extravagant for me because after playing, you know, again, after playing PvP, where you're usually forced by circumstances to build concealed and small, being able to have space like this to deal with. I can put crafting over there. I can put my teleport pad down inside. You know, I'm building high enough that I can get a behemoth gate in here, and I can build a second floor above that behemoth gate, and that's pretty cool. Or I can do like in my other base and just build build a mezzanine level, you know, just covering one corner or something. That's my scooter. How you doing? Looks like you still got some meat in your inventory. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and place a bunch of greenhouse walls, and I'll post another video probably a different time. I think I'll show you first how this goes. So I always put, I drag them into one of my hotkey slots, and then I just crawl around until I can angle everything where it needs to be. That's how I built this whole thing. Change my point of view a little bit. This form of building is not for everybody. It can be a little tricky getting used to how enforcers walk on walls. If you've ever used like a rock drake or something, it's pretty similar. But once you get the hang of it, it's very convenient, because otherwise I'd have to use climbing picks, or, you know, or if I've got a tech suit handy, the jetpack could do this. That's a little tricky too. It takes some getting used to. Let's see. Let's turn this thing around. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, it's a little confusing until you get used to it. But you kind of crawl around like Spider-Man. And you'll break some greenhouse walls the first couple of times you try this. It can be a little tricky. Sometimes it's tricky just finding the right spot for things to snap. There we go. So anyway, it's just more of that, more of the same. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see notifications for whenever I post new content. You know, I used to do a lot of Twitch streaming, and lately I've kind of become a little fed up with how Twitch is handling certain things, so I decided instead, hey, you know, I'm just going to make some tutorial-esque kind of ARK gameplay videos and post them just for fun, especially since I've been seeing some other folks doing something similar. I thought, since I already have some stuff in progress, and you know, I get to skip some of the like early beginner stuff. I'm just going to start posting some of the gameplay in the existing game that I've been working on for a while, and you know, see if people like it. Anyway, talk to you later. Thanks for watching.